The story of Lionel Barrow is one of the most complex and heart-wrenching murder cases that occurred in Palmdale, California in 2010. Investigators were called to the crime scene where 29-year-old Lionel Barrow was found brutally murdered in her garage. Lionel, a nurse with big ambitions and a kind heart, was tragically taken by surprise, and her killer left behind several clues that would eventually lead to a shocking twist. The case began on June 16, 2010, when Lorene Austin, Lionel's friend, arrived at the Palmdale police station in a panic. She reported finding Lionel dead in her garage. As police arrived at the scene, they found Lionel lying next to her BMW, her head covered with a plastic bag. The garage was filled with bloody towels, plastic sheeting, and bedding, indicating that an attempt to clean up had been made but was never finished. The scene told a horrifying story, but the investigation into Lionel's personal life would reveal a much more complex and sinister narrative. Welcome to The Dark Evidence, where we delve into one of the most twisted murder cases. In this episode, we explore the life of Lionel Barrow, a beautiful, ambitious woman who may have made dangerous choices when it came to love and trust. Lionel's story unravels in Palmdale, a city known for its affluent residents, but beneath the surface of its luxurious lifestyle, dark secrets were lurking. Lorene Austin, the woman who claimed to be Lionel's close friend, had found Lionel's body and reported it to the police. But as detectives investigated further, Lorene's story started to fall apart. Lionel had a boyfriend, Louis Bonaire, with whom she had been experiencing relationship difficulties. After discovering Lionel's affair with a man named Ike, Louis became suspicious and jealous. Despite this, Lionel and Louis had planned to work through their issues, but her affair was far from over. Investigators initially suspected Louis of being responsible for the murder due to his history of conflict with Lionel. As the investigation continued, detectives uncovered evidence that suggested the crime scene had been manipulated. Lionel's body had likely been moved to the garage after being killed in another part of the house. Forensic testing showed signs of an incomplete cleanup effort, with latex gloves and disturbed linens indicating someone had attempted to erase their presence. Blood stains, a bullet hole in a pillow, and a footprint on a rug added to the mystery. The suspicion initially fell on Louis, especially since Lionel had confided in friends about their relationship problems. Lorene had mentioned Louis's jealousy and claimed he had discovered the second phone Lionel used to communicate with Ike. However, Louis had a solid alibi. At the time of Lionel's death, he was in Los Angeles buying car parts, which was corroborated by security footage and receipts. With Louis cleared of suspicion, investigators shifted their focus to Lorene Austin. It turned out that Lorene's claims of being Lionel's longtime friend were fabricated. In reality, Lorene had only met Lionel weeks before the murder through a personal ad. Lorene, who was financially struggling and deeply in debt, had become infatuated with Lionel's lifestyle and possibly saw her as a way out of her problems. Lorene had been pretending to live a life she envied, telling people she drove a BMW and using Lionel's middle name, Crystal, while dating others. However, when Lionel broke things off with Lorene, the rejection likely fueled Lorene's rage. She planned the murder, acquiring a 9mm Smith & Wesson pistol just before the crime. The latex gloves found at the scene, along with other physical evidence such as Lorene's fingerprints and DNA on the items, pointed directly to her. The final blow came when investigators discovered that a letter found at the crime scene, which supposedly detailed Lionel's plan to leave Louis for Ike, was a forgery. In the end, Lorene Austin fled the country, but was apprehended in Belize after a viewer tipped off the FBI following an episode of America's Most Wanted. Lorene was extradited and later found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to 50 years to life in prison. Lionel's family continues to mourn the loss of their beloved daughter and sister, remembering her as a hardworking and loving woman who deserved so much more than the tragic end she met. This case serves as a stark reminder that trust and love, when placed in the wrong hands, can lead to devastating consequences. Thanks for watching The Dark Evidence. Stay tuned for more shocking cases.